My name is Faith Lawson. I'm 34 years old, and for most of my life, I believed I understood abandonment better than anyone. I was wrong. 3 weeks ago, at 2:13 a.m., in a quiet hospice room, a dying man grabbed my hospital badge, read my last name, and started crying like something inside him had shattered. Then he whispered 5 words that erased my entire life. Your mother told me you died. I've worked night shifts at a hospice long enough to recognize every kind of ending. Peaceful ones, angry ones, lonely ones. I've held hands as people slipped away. I've comforted families who weren't ready to say goodbye. But nothing prepared me for that moment. Because the man in that bed was supposed to be a stranger. I grew up with one story. Just one. My father was a drug addict. He chose heroin over me. He walked away when I was 2 years old and never looked back. That story shaped everything. It's why I became a nurse. It's why I stayed when others left. It's why I built a life around never abandoning anyone. Because I knew exactly how it felt to be abandoned. Or at least, I thought I did. That Tuesday night started like every other. Fluorescent lights buzzing, machines humming, the quiet, heavy air that only exists in places where people are waiting to die. New patient, room 12B, Robert Lawson, stage 4 pancreatic cancer, transferred from out of state. I didn't think twice about the name. Lawson is common enough, right? He looked fragile, like most of my patients at that stage. Yellowed skin, hollow cheeks, hands that told a story of hard work, scarred, calloused, strong even in weakness. I introduced myself, wrapped the blood pressure cuff around his arm, leaned in to adjust his IV, and that's when it happened. My badge swung forward. His hand shot up and grabbed it. Tight. Too tight for someone that sick. He stared at my name like it was something impossible. Lawson, he whispered. His eyes filled with tears instantly. Not confusion, not fear, recognition. How old are you? He asked. 34. He closed his eyes like the answer hurt him. I looked for you, he said, voice breaking, for 32 years. My stomach dropped. I stepped back. Sir, I think you might be confused. Your mother, he cut in. Connie Mitchell. Everything inside me froze. That name, my mother's maiden name, a name no stranger should know. She told me you died, he said. Car accident, Kentucky. You were 2. My ears started ringing. No, I said automatically, that's not possible. My father was a drug addict. He left us. The man looked at me with a kind of pain I can't describe. I've never touched drugs in my life, he said. Then he reached for my hand and said the words that changed everything. I'm your father, Faith. You ever feel your entire reality crack in real time? That was me. Standing in a hospice room, trained to stay calm, to stay rational. But nothing about this was rational. He pointed to a worn-out canvas bag by the window. Open it, he said. Inside was a folder. Old, thick, used. I opened it with shaking hands. First page, my birth certificate. Not a copy, the original. Father Robert James Lawson, Mother Constance Marie Mitchell. I flipped the page. A baby photo. Me. The same photo my mother kept in her album. Then came the receipts. Private investigators. Dozens of them. Different years. Different cities. All searching for one person. Me. Then the letters. Stacks of them. Each one starting the same way. Dear Faith, I open the first. Happy 3rd birthday, baby girl. Daddy doesn't know where you are, but I'm looking. My hand started shaking so badly the paper rattled. There were 32 of them, one for every year of my life. I made it to the hallway before my legs gave out. I sat on the cold floor, clutching that folder, trying to breathe. Because the truth was already forming in my head, and I didn't want it to be real. My father didn't abandon me. He was told I was dead. And my mother, the woman I spent my whole life protecting, was the one who told him. I wish I could say I handled it calmly. I didn't. I unraveled, slowly at first, then all at once. The next few days were a blur of confirmations. A retired lawyer who cried the moment I said my name. A grandmother who had kept my nursery untouched for 32 years. A box of birthday gifts, one for every year I never came home. And a letter, handwritten, from my mother. I'm leaving and I'm taking Faith. I told everyone she died. It's easier this way. Easier. That word kept echoing in my head. Easier to erase a father. Easier to rewrite a child's entire life. Easier to build a lie so big it becomes reality. But the truth has a way of catching up, and mine did. In a church, in front of 200 people. My mother was being honored that day. 30 years of faithful service. A whole speech about sacrifice, strength, raising her daughter alone after being abandoned. People were crying, clapping, admiring her. And I was sitting there, realizing something. She wasn't just lying to me anymore. She was performing the lie. So I stood up, walked to the stage, and took the microphone. My father didn't abandon me, I said. Silence. He's alive. He's in hospice. And he spent 32 years looking for me. Faces changing. The room shifting. Then I pulled out the letter and read it out loud. Every word. No yelling, no drama, just truth. Clear, calm, undeniable. And for the first time in my life, my mother had no story left to tell. I left that church and drove straight to him. Room 12B. Same quiet hum, same dim lights. But this time, I wasn't his nurse. I was his daughter. I sat beside him, took his hand. Dad, I said. First time in my life. And it felt right. He smiled. Not a big smile. Just enough. Like a man who had been waiting his entire life to hear that word. I told them the truth, I said. Tears filled his eyes. I knew you would, he whispered. I only got 19 days with him. 19. After 32 years of being kept apart. But in those 19 days, I learned what real love looks like. It looks like letters written to someone you're told is dead. It looks like never giving up. It looks like holding on when everyone tells you to let go. The night he died, I was there, holding his hand, like I've done for so many patients before. But this time, it was different. It's okay, Dad, I whispered. I'm here. And for the first time in 32 years, he wasn't alone. I used to believe my life was defined by abandonment. Now I know. It was defined by a lie. My name is Faith Lawson. I'm a hospice nurse. I'm Robert Lawson's daughter. And I was never abandoned. So let me ask you something. If your entire life was built on a lie, would you want to know the truth?